Sports Podcast.
Welcome to the All Sports Podcast with me, Matt, and today, Joel. How are you, mate?
Hey, Matt. I'm all good, mate. How are you?
All good, thanks. And Femi, how are you?
Good, mate. Good to be back.
Be back.
Raring to go. 10 minutes early today.
Love the enthusiasm. What's got you so enthusiastic? Shall we start at Wimbledon?
Great game of tennis. Actually, it wasn't. Let's be honest.
Do you not think so?
I don't think, it wasn't great. I think the standards definitely slipped from both players. And considering we saw masterclass at Roland Garros, it was always going to be hard to replicate that, even from both players. I think the mental impact they had on both players in the previous game definitely came to full effect. Because both players are making errors, seeing mistakes, like errors you just haven't seen them make, in truth. I was reading on Twitter as well, watching the game, people saying Djokovic is still better than both Alcaraz and Sinner, and I was thinking, like, I don't necessarily agree with that. Alcaraz has definitely had better games than what he put up yesterday. Like, it was such a poor performance. It wasn't as competitive as I thought it'd be. I know it was, 2 games between each set. I think it was 6-4, 6-4, and 6-4 for all Sinner's wins. But it wasn't a great game in terms of quality. Just way too many mistakes. And I didn't enjoy it as much, if I'm being honest. I thought it was going to be a cracker. But
I'm hearing that.
Yeah. Well, I think, listen, like I said, after Roland Garros, it was going to be hard to follow up.
Who's saying that Djokovic is better than Sinner right now?
And do they mean now?
No, they meant that the version of both players at the final would have lost to Djokovic.
In his heyday, yeah, of course, because he is arguably the greatest player of all time, and Sinner and Alcaraz are still in their very early 20s and have not reached their peak yet, but have got a very high ceiling that they could do. I think just the comparison's ridiculous because Djokovic is still playing now as well, and Sinner absolutely dispatched of Djokovic in the semi-final.
He did. I guess they probably meant like the version of Sinner, even the final. Like, he was good, but he didn't even have to be amazing to beat Alcaraz. I think Alcaraz just let him into the game. He was making silly mistakes. The second set especially, like, he started the game with 2 faults on his serve, and you just thought, what are we doing here, mate? What are we actually doing here? And then I think he lost confidence from there. And he wasn't celebrating as much. Roland Garros, even when he lost games, he would literally celebrate while being down. Put his finger up. You still got that pump. You still had that feeling that he was going to pull through with an upset or come back whilst he was down. But with this one, you just knew he was defeated. Like, you could tell on the players, on his face. You can tell with his mentality as well, with just the way he carried himself. You could his body language, told the whole story, which is quite disappointing. But like I said, you put on a performance like he did at Roland Garros, like, you can't blame him too tough.
Sinner was pretty exceptional throughout the tournament, except against Dimitrov, obviously, where he was 2 sets down, and Dimitrov unfortunately tore his pec and had to retire. So barring that, it could have well been a Dimitrov in the final. So by a bit of a stroke of luck, he managed to make it through, and then he made the most of it in the semi-final. Well, it was the quarter, wasn't it? Quarter-final against Shelton, and then he had Djokovic. Shelton's looking good and on the up as well. There's more to come. I think from the men's draw, what it's done for me is reignited a little bit of men's tennis. From Roland Garros in the final between the two of them, to then how the rest of the field done and some names emerging through the field. I think it also shows that Sinner and Alcaraz can both be beaten. People were taking sets off them in the tournament, and they're not just dispatching of absolutely everyone. Sinner did first three matches. I think the most he conceded was 7 games out of 3 sets. But then after that, he obviously dropped some sets, and Alcaraz did against Taylor Fritz and early on in the tournament as well. So they're not impenetrable as the number 1 and number 2 in the world. So I think that is good for the game. But then also this rivalry that's now heating up is exceptionally good for the game.
I think they are a long way clear.
I agree. I don't even think it's close.
Yeah, they've shared the last 7 Grand Slams, haven't they? I think they're quite a long way clear of the rest. I agree with you that there's a competitive pack behind there. I think Shelton and Fritz both looked really decent. I think Fritz benefits from the surface, but I mean, Draper didn't go very far, but you would hope that he can also be in that kind of competing pack. But yeah, I feel like these two are, the Alcaraz and Sinner, are a decent way clear. I think it's hard for them because they're always going to be compared with Djokovic and Nadal. Like, it's impossible not to. Like, they are remarkably similar to those two players, and that's why, like, especially to a layman, that's why they're going to be like naturally compared with them. Yeah, I mean, my view on the match yesterday was that Sinner was quite a lot better on the day, I thought. I'm not sure where Alcaraz's head was at. He seems to be rushing a little bit. I thought he was trying to like capitalize on his momentum too quickly. So it would start to go his way. He'd win a big game or whatever, but then he'd start rushing. Whereas Sinner was way more consistent and just like relentless throughout with his consistency. Like even in the first set, he just slipped up a little bit, didn't he? And then Alcaraz was able to kind of overpower him for a couple of games. But he was he 4-2 up at one point?
That's right. Yeah, and it was at the pivotal games. I think you're right. But then yes, it was the error count for Alcaraz that did it. He kind of almost beat himself rather than Sinner beat him. Whereas at Roland Garros, Alcaraz beat Sinner, but it could have gone either way. And I think that's what was different in this game is you watch someone, and there's a similarity there with the women's final as well. I mean, that's pretty unfair on Alcaraz because, however,
I mean, he
like
was let alone a game.
let alone a game, and yeah, I feel very sorry for Simonova, but
yeah,
she'll learn a lot from that.
Just on Alcaraz, I just think his serve was a bit weird for the majority of the match. I just don't think he ever really looked completely comfortable in that fourth set. I think at one point he'd only won like 58% of his first serve points or something like that. I think flashed up. So he would really just, I think he lost a lot of confidence in being able to get the ball past Sinner, basically. Like, Sinner was just getting everything back over the net. Like, he's so hard to get past. His movement is unbelievable. They talked a lot about his movement after the match, and we're constantly talking about his skiing and stuff. But I guess it is very relevant in the way that he slides across the turf.
Yeah,
I don't know how relevant it is, but I don't ski.
It's really funny. He had a little outburst as well at one point. He's speaking to his coaches. Like, he basically, shouted, "She's playing better than me." And I think, Alcaraz
Yeah, he did.
And I feel like with Sinner, we don't talk about his mental strength enough, and that's one of his key strengths when it comes to playing the game. Like, even losing Roland Garros the way he did, had to come back, lose the first set in Wimbledon, and still come back from a set down and win 3 sets on the trough. Like, that is so impressive. Even talking about Sheldon as well, after the game in his press conference, he literally said he was just doing everything right. Like, his ball's too fast. Like, he just couldn't contain him. Like, Sinner goes into this games and he defeats his opponents mentally. Like, he breaks them. And that was literally what he did to Djokovic as well in the semi-final. Like, that was the first time we had seen Djokovic look so normal, almost like, and you almost started feeling bad for him. And
yeah, you're looking at a Djokovic V2. I think you're really right. And actually, what I think this alludes to is, if you look at the two and who's going to accomplish more in their career, I think it's Sinner that has got the game to actually get into the not only double digit Grand Slams, but start to be getting close to the levels of the big three.
Yeah, I think Alcaraz was trying to overpower him, but Sinner can go toe to toe with him, can't he? Really, like, he's just as powerful, and his movement is just, especially on grass. I don't know if it's like consistent across other surfaces or whatever, but especially yesterday, his movement was just different. Like, the way he covers the ground was just different to the way that Alcaraz is able to. He's very athletic as well, but I don't know. It's just different.
Yeah, and I don't think skiing's got a lot to do with it, to be honest. From a skier, I don't think it
Yeah.
does at all. And they're probably not allowed to ski either anymore.
I think they were referring to when he was a kid.
When he was younger, yeah, and that's always interesting. Are they like a lifelong tennis childhood, or is it a variety of sports? The argument of specialism over generic sportsman.
They mentioned it on comms that he basically left home at 13, and at that point made the choice to follow tennis, and it was like either football, skiing, or tennis. He was like at an elite level in all of them, and focused on tennis from 13.
Yeah. He's very good. And just a word on Anna Samova, that was like, I don't even know how you recover from that. Like you said, she will come back from it, but honestly, that is career ending. Not even exaggerating. So
yeah, what happened there? Like, why did it go that way?
I just feel she got nervous. To be honest,
Froze.
yeah, she definitely froze. At the start of the game, it was similar to Nadal when he done the intimidation tactic and was doing all the movement before during the warm up before final. I can't remember which one. What's the name? Swiatek was doing something similar at the warm up, literally at the line, the baseline, when the umpire called them both. Like she started just, doing like some quick warm up, so you could just tell that she's trying to get in their head, and she never recovered from that. Honestly, she just got dominated. Like 6-0, 6-0 was just, mate, 6-love, 6-love. I don't know where you go from there.
It is, and I feel sorry for her, but also to get to the final of a Grand Slam is an amazing achievement in the game for any player to get that far in Wimbledon, and that would have already been amazing for her. She got to a semi-final a few years ago in the French Open, maybe like 2019, 2020, when she was really young, but she's only 23 now. So she's like 16 or 17 when she burst onto the scene and has been quite quiet since. So I was surprised when I saw her name pop up again. But yeah, I think it probably was nerves. When she burst onto the scene as a teenager, and you have that media and pressure around you, like we've seen obviously with Raducanu as the British athlete, comparable with winning as a teenager, to then go back into the pack and compete week in, week out in these tournaments, it's very, very challenging. She had that peak when she was younger, and then it doesn't really hit it again. And that's probably why the nerves are really hitting her harder, is because it's been a while since she was at this level, so doesn't know when it's going to happen again, has to take the opportunity, has to take the chance, and too big. And the nerves, I don't know. We'll see what happens off the back of it. But like I said, she is young. She's only 23 years old herself, so she could have another 10 years at least in the game.
What about the winner? What about Swiatek?
Swiatek. She's only 24 and she's won 6 Grand Slams already, dominates in the French Open, I think has won 4 French Opens already. So yeah, it was an incredibly difficult opponent anyway. Hadn't won Wimbledon before, so this was her first Wimbledon.
So 2 new Wimbledon winners, because it was Sinner's first as well, right?
Exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, also today, England closed out a 20-run win, I think by 20 runs, in the 5th day against India. The 4th day and the 5th day were, amazing. People getting skittled left, right and centre. Really big comeback for Jofra Archer in general over the course of the test. Basically, he's been out of the picture for a long time in terms of test cricket with various injuries. Tried to use like white ball cricket to get himself back fit a couple of times, but never really able to do it. But he's such a weapon for England when he can play, like genuine pace, genuine fast bowler, and they just don't really have another one of those. They have Mark Wood, but he's often injured as well, and he's pretty erratic, to be honest. But when those two are fit, I think Archer's just like just a cut above him. Took 3 wickets in the second innings for 55, so a really good economy rate there for a fast bowler. You don't usually. I mean, it wasn't like it was hugely a big scoring test, but yeah, he took 5 wickets across the two innings. So really good to have him back and in the wickets ahead of a big build-up period towards the Ashes in the second half of this year.
Oh, that's big. Yep. I mean, for the most part, I knew he was gone for a while because he's probably like the one of the few cricket players I actually know. And what was it with the altercation? I saw something report.
There was a lot of needle in this test. There was a lot going on. I think it all kind of started with Zach Crawley trying to close out day 2 or day 3. I can't remember which, but yeah, trying to close out one of the days, slowing everything down, doing lots of gardening down the wicket, asking for, I don't know if you've seen, he's like asking for there's a screen where the batsman's looking, there's a screen there, and yeah, constantly like asking the bowler to wait because there's somebody walking across the screen or the screen's not in quite the right place or whatever, and that really riled the Indian guys up, and they were giving him plenty of stick, lots of sarcastic. He also got the physio on at one point as well, I think. Lots of lots of sarcastic clapping, lots of sarcastic applause from the Indian players, and it all went from there really. And then there was a couple of instances. I think it was Siraj who got Duckett in the second innings, and he gave him plenty on his way. I can't remember how the wicket was taken. I can't remember if it was a leg before wicket or what, but yeah, he gave him plenty as he walked down the pitch. There was a little shoulder bump as well. And then from the wickets that I've seen today, Jofra Archer gave Washington a mouthful. He caught and bowled him, so he gave him plenty of stick as well. There was absolutely loads of it. But yeah, I think it was all stemming from England slowing things down in the first innings. And then in this second innings, India were the ones today on day 5, just trying to survive, trying to see the day out, slowly score their runs. Wasn't a huge target. They had loads of time to play with. So, yeah, I imagine the England players were letting them know about their hypocrisy. But yeah, I don't mind that at all. I mean, we were talking before the recording, weren't we, about the altercation between Luis Enrique and João Pedro at the Club World Cup, and saying, you know, it's not necessarily things that you don't want to see. It kind of makes everything a bit more interesting. So that puts England 2-1 up in the series. We got the golf starting this week, but we'll probably do a more in-depth review of that next week.
Yeah.
Anything else you got your eye on?
I mean, no, sports, American sports are all done. Football, Club World Cup is pretty much done. Yeah. That's all on my side.
It's not far away from the start of the football season now. Pre-season renders are starting. Players are back for pre-season. The transfer window is starting to hot up, isn't it? So we'll probably have a look at who's done what ahead of the new season. But there's some big money flying around.
Some big money. I mean, Newcastle put in a bid today for, is it Etiqueta?
Yes.
So, I mean, brilliant player he is. And they try to play him with Isaac. I don't know how that's...
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't know if I believe that.
Absolutely not. Like, there's probably a bid just coming and they've probably promised to sell him to Liverpool or something. Because there's no way I see him playing with Isaac. It's one or the other. And I think there was also reports about Isaac getting like surgery or something.
Really?
Yeah, well, not fully confirmed on that, but I think
plenty of goals towards the end of the season, didn't he?
Yeah, he did. So I think that's probably them just preparing. And then, of course, on the United front, they're still waiting on Mbeumo. Chelsea have done some solid business so far. João Pedro has been an excellent signing. And then put in perspective, Liam Delap, picking Chelsea over United. It's like you've gone over to Chelsea and then you've almost replaced you in 2 days with João Pedro. I mean, Chelsea have done some excellent business, but they probably still have way too many players and need to let a few go.
Yeah, they're gonna need a lot of players though, given what they've had to. I mean, they've just finished their season. Players are coming back for pre-season with other clubs. It's a bit of a strange one, yeah. But we'll probably do an in-depth preview of the football just before the season starts.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
So close us off.
Yeah, I can do it.
Yeah, thank you.
Cheers, Ferry. Thanks everyone for listening. If you want to get in touch, it's allsportspods@gmail.com, and we'll see you next time.
Cheers, guys.